Well, the Monster Energy Motostar Championship round at Knockhill. Blinding start for Bradley Ray on the pale blue machine, number 28, ahead of Taron McKenzie off the front row on the orange Austrian KTM. But very quickly, Jordan Weaving, number 34, had moved his way straight underneath the little Scotsman in Scotsman's and went through into second place. Taron then also came under fire from Kyle Ryde on the Moto 3 Wilson Craig Honda, and he charged through into third place. Catherine Green was also threatening on the black and white bike. And then Luke Hedger got in on the act. The championship leader, of course, from down in the West Country. Luke Hedger took over that fourth place. And then we had a faller. Number 88, Hafik Azmi from Malaysia, we think it was, went down. And then another faller, this time at the hairpin. And then as they charged up the hill after the pace car had gone in, Bradley Ray just seemed a little unsure of which way the pace car was going, and he found himself eaten up by Jordan Weaving and Kyle Ryde. Kyle Ryde then led the way as they went into the hairpin. What a huge high side for Jordan Weaving, brought down Bradley Ray and Luke Hedger. All three of them crash out, and Kyle Ryde inherits the victory. Keith Farmer, born into a road racing family in County Tyrone 25 years ago, come next Sunday, gets a lightning start off the front row of the grid and presses downhill into the first complex at Seat Gervin Leslie's to lead the race pretty much from the off, and he really laid down an early lead over Steve Brogan on the build-based BMW. Victor Cox on the green ILR Kawasaki running in third place ahead of David Johnson. And then it got very, very crowded into the hairpin. A move by Jason O'Halloran went wrong when he didn't manage to hold on to the tight line. He clipped the front wheel of Jimmy Storer, entirely Jason's own fault, it seemed to us. And then this was what was going on at the hairpin next time around. Victor Cox in green versus Steve Brogan, and Brogan in fact began to seem to have problems with the build-based BMW and just got punched back by Victor Cox, then by Jimmy Storer, then by David Johnson. Johnson burst through there into fourth place, and although and it didn't look as if a head-shaking Steve Brogan had any answer. Meanwhile, number 54 Storer got the better of number 28 Victor Cox, moved through into second place and began to press home his advantage amongst the lap riders. But it was Keith Farmer, number 303, who clung on to the lead across the line by 0.2 of a second. Jimmy Storer in second place. First time off and a great start for Ben Burke, but watch out for number 23, Alex Olsen, mid-pack. He clipped someone's back wheel. I think it might have been Josh Wainwright as they dropped down the hill. Thankfully, everybody else, including his teammate Jack Groves, managed to avoid him. And then down went James Lodge, former 125 national champion, twice national champion, high siding out of the hairpin. At the front, Michael Robertson from nearby Edinburgh tackles the leader Ben Burke as Jimmy Rose creeps through into third place ahead of Johnny Blackshaw, and then Blackshaw suffers at the hands of Matthew Powler, who dramatically swoops round the outside down the hill into the first turn. Well, then a massive high side for Jim Budgeon, and that puts him down and out on bike number 31 and deposits a bit of unwanted lubricant on the track. The red flag goes out. We start again. This time the sun is with us as Ben Burke makes another terrific start. So Burke leads the way once again. Michael Robertson. This time Robertson grabs the advantage on the first lap, loses it at the hairpin and can't quite get back on terms. Third place at the moment for Jimmy Rose, but he starts to get a little bit ragged, especially down into Scotsman's. That allows to Johnny Blackshaw to attack on the white and blue Smiths at Gloucester Triumph. Then Bjorn Esmond crashes once again at Clark's Curve. The red flag goes out, but Ben Burke and Michael Robertson have taken first and second places ahead of Blackshaw.
Well, cracking race it was. Now we've got the same. This grid forms up based on the result of the earlier race this weekend, but Tim Reeves, having won that one, led from pole position. He was hotly pursued from Scott Laurie and James Neath. They desperately needed to do something about their championship. Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence, the number 49 crew, in third place, pushing hard as well. They had a massive championship lead coming in, but in the early stages, John Clark and Stuart Graham upended it. Very difficult for the rider to extricate himself because, as you can see, they are sitting well and truly in it. The battle further down the field for fourth place raged, absolutely raged, between the number 8 crew of Phil Bell and Tony Belsey and the number 3 outfit, pristine in its new white fairing of Barry James and Callum Lawson. But a fantastic move by Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence saw them slide up the inside of Scott Lorry and James Neve at the hairpin, never to be challenged again. But Scott Lorry, having said that, made a fearsome lunge as they went down towards Seat. He cut through on the inside with a terrific corner entry speed with no hope of recovery, went down the footpath and narrowly averted what could have been a huge collision at the bottom. You can bet his foot was hard on the brakes then. Reeves quickly got among the tail enders, but to take his second victory in 2 races here at Knockhill was sweet indeed, and 50 points.